Are the Panthers frauds, or is VGK really like that?
I don't even know. I really thought the aggression at the end of game 1 was a good sign, but the aggression in game 2 seemed like the kid on the playground that's stamping his feet because he's not getting his way. It felt misplaced. It didn't feel like a let's fire the team up. It felt like a we're losing, so I'm going to take anger out.
Exactly.
Not like a let's get fired up and try to come back, which I think was frustrating for me to watch because I hate that kind of shit. Like if you're losing and you're losing because of you, like they lost because of them. It wasn't like they lost because some other extra, like the VGK just has them in a chokehold right now. I think Bobrovsky is kind of
exposed,
coming down a little bit.
Back to earth.
We thought he was the GOAT, and I got so many DMs saying this was the Bob of the regular season.
Yeah.
Which is like,
it was.
fuck.
I mean, this is why you take the over in every Panthers game because they put puck on that like any other team, but the goaltending wasn't something that was a standout, all season long. And then Bob gets cracked out for 3 series in a row, and then they get to VGK, and now he's looking like he's back down to earth.
If I'm a Panthers fan, I'm really worried. If I'm a VGK fan, I'm cautiously optimistic because you never know what's going to happen when you go into Florida.
I don't think
you might have just lost Jack Eichel.
Yeah, I don't think the series is over by any means. It's hockey. We've seen this shit so often, and it's the Panthers who have grittied their way, not like actually gritty, but like it's been a
way to the cup. Can you imagine just a graphic of Rat fucking Chuck just grittying on his way to the cup?
They've had so much grit on their way to the Stanley Cup and fighting past top seeds in the East. But it's just crazy to see how they've gotten this far just to be down 2-0 in kind of embarrassing fashion in the Stanley Cup. But I'm not counting them out yet. They still got to go back to Florida, and I think the change of pace will be different once they get there. But big point for Tkachuk last night in my goat whale because I'm sweating his points. Had no idea that the Panthers even scored at the end there, and it just so happened to be a Tkachuk point, which was so big. But I don't know, dude. They're losing it.
The hit on Jack Eichel was clean.
I thought it was clean too.
It looked dirty from an outside perspective watching it, but by the rule of the book, same thing that happened to Timo Meier. That was a clean hit. I don't think he should have been in the box for as long as he's in the box. I don't even think he should have been in the box at all. But it almost felt like I've got a bunch of uncles that diehard hockey fans. That play felt like a mid-90s Stanley Cup hockey play where you just go, I'm going to really try to take your best player out of the fucking series because I want this more than you guys want this, like in quotes, right? Yep. It felt like a play you'd see in the mid-90s where the Panthers, after taking Jack Eichel out of the game, come back and make this a series. You know what I mean? Because that was a fun. Tkachuk knew what he was doing.
Oh, yeah.
He knew exactly what he was doing once he dialed in on Jack Eichel. Exactly what he was doing. He picked Jack Eichel for a reason, and he fucking buried him.
Murdered him, bro.
Like buried him.
And that's Rat fucking Chuck for you. The worst square in the history of the Stanley Cup Finals has to be Tkachuk over time on ice. That dude can't stay out of the goddamn penalty box to save his life. Sword under.
So what was your reaction though watching that game? Like, let's say put yourself in the shoes of a VGK fan.
Dude, I'm shocked. As a VGK fan, as a Panthers fan, whoever you're watching this game, you're just like, what's going on? Like, I thought for sure Panthers were going to come back game 2, fired up, ready to go, ready to tie the series up. And it got out of hand in the first period, and they never looked back.
At what point do you raise the alarm? If you lose game 3, if you're a Panthers fan?
If you give up a goal, if you give up the first VGK goal on your home ice, bro, you throw in the fucking morning alarms. Like already. You cannot fall behind in game 3 at home, down 2-0 in the series. But I mean, right now, if I'm a Panthers fan, I'm worried about Bobrovsky for sure. I mean, he looks nothing like himself.
Dude, he looked like a shell.
I mean, I haven't seen Bobrovsky pulled from a game in all playoffs. I think that's
And I got guys in my comments bitching about his over saves, and some guy was like, "Yo, I don't even know if you guys are watching, but he's not fucking playing.
He's not playing.
Anymore,
Yeah,
dude."
yeah. Speaking about over saves, bro, the whole fucking community got absolutely burned last night on Aiden Hill over saves. They stat correct, dude. The fishiest shit was going on. He ended up with 29. Everyone needed 30.
Wow.
They stat corrected like 4 SOGs with 4 minutes left. And they kept ripping. They would take him away. And so he was like at 30, then back down to 29, then back to 30 again, then back down to, dude, it was
no way.
It was so fucked up. So fucked up.
What
Everyone
were the
was
stat corrections? Block shots?
missed
not on target?
wide. Fucking yeah. Dude. And like clearly hits off his fucking shin guard or whatever. Like it was so fishy, bro. So fishy.
And 4 of them.
Dude, it happened 4 times.
I feel like that's rare too.
It was bad.
When they
It was
start
bad.
correcting
And
like
it
that?
just so happens to be right at the number that everyone needs. Like, what?
Vegas is like, oh.
Yeah.
It's like the guy with the dollar in those old commercials.
Yeah,
Gotta be
he's
quicker than that.
Oh.
Gotta be quicker than that.
Literally, dude.